भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविस्ताय भूतले प्रभुपादाय प्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामिने सुभक्तशास्त्र विज्ञाय धीरसाधनशलिने रररस बिहारी भक्तिव्यस्यात्मदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविस्ताय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदेवतारणं। हरे कृष्ण। So welcome back. Our reading and study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 31. Narada instruct the Prachetas. We on text 5. Prachetasa uchuhu swagatam te surashridya drishtyan tava chankramanam brahman abhayaya yatharavihe. All the Prachetas began to address the great sage Narada. O great sage, O Brahmana, we hope you met with no disturbances while coming here. 5. It is due to our great fortune that we are now able to see you. By the troubling of the sun, people are relieved from the fear of the darkness of night, a fear brought about by thieves and rogues. Similarly, your troubling is like the sun's, for you drive away all kinds of fear. Purport. Because of the night's darkness, everyone is afraid of rogues and thieves, especially in great cities. People are often afraid to go out on the streets, and we understand that even in a great city like New York, people do not like to go out at night. More or less, when it is night, everyone is afraid, either in the city or in the village. I just saw one, I don't know what it is. It's like some educational course. I don't know, IQS, something like that. It keeps on popping up on YouTube. I don't know what it is. Like the tuition courses. So it's like anyway, this one person, like he's saying that there are so many layoffs in America, so he's trying to come back to India. We want you here. We want you back to India. So he says, why do you want to stay in US after 5 o'clock? You know, everybody just staying inside. Nobody's out. And I say, why? I thought there's big nightlife in US. How come that nobody goes out? You know, so you're lonely. He says, here in India, you'll be with your family. You can watch TV and drink your coffee and God knows what. Socialize. So when I'm reading this, people are often afraid to go out on the streets, and we understand that even in a great city like New York, people do not like to go out at night. Why? Because of thieves. This is what's being explained here. Because of thieves and rogues. More or less, when it is night, everyone is afraid, either in the city or in the village. However, as soon as the sun rises, everyone is relieved. Similarly, this material world is dark by nature. Everyone is afraid of danger at every moment. But when one sees a devotee like Narada, all fear is relieved. Just as the sun disperses darkness, the appearance of a great sage like Narada disperses ignorance. When one meets Narada or his representative, a spiritual master, one is free from all anxiety brought about by ignorance. So we stop there. Text 6. Yadadishtam bhagavata shivena dhoksajena cha tadgriheshu prasaktanam prayasha kshapitam prabhu. O Master, may we inform you that because of our being overly attached to family affairs, we almost forgot the instructions we received from Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. Remember, this is the Prachetas. So the Prachetas went and they did so much austerity. And when they went out, so they came in touch with Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva gave them this song of Lord Shiva, a mantra, instructions. So they were reciting these prayers. And then, as a result of the austerity, they met Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu gave them so many instructions, right? Anybody remembers what were the instructions? What instructions? Anyway, I've forgotten everything that Lord Vishnu gave. I have to read it again. I've forgotten what instructions. He said, you marry this girl, we are giving you this. That was the final thing. Let us see what instruction they were given. Okay, let's go and see what instruction they were given. Can we find it? Anybody tell me?
Can you see this?
Which page?
Chapter 30, 8.
8? Okay, yeah. So the Lord said, Uvacha. So what did he say? I'm very pleased with you because you're friendly with each other, okay? Yes, so then, yes. 30.
Text 8.
Yes, so Vishnu praised them for their good qualities, for being obedient to their father. And then he said that you will have a nice son who will be in no way inferior to Lord Brahma. My God, that's Daksha taking birth. This is Vishnu giving the benediction, right? That you will have a nice son who will be in no way inferior to Brahma. Consequently, he will be very famous all over the universe, and the sons and grandsons generated by him will fill the three worlds. Yeah, and who your wife would be. So this is what he gave. Okay. Marry this girl. And then perform devotional service. Okay, now text 18 then the Supreme Lord said, after family life is over, thereafter you will develop unadulterated devotional service unto me and be freed from all material contamination. At that time, being completely unattached to material enjoyment in the so-called heavenly planets as well as in hellish planets, you will return home back to Godhead. All right. Those who are engaged in auspicious activities in devotional service certainly understand that the ultimate enjoyer or beneficiary of all activities is the Supreme Person Godhead. Thus, when one acts, he offers the result to the Supreme Person Godhead and passes life always engaged in topics of the Lord. Even though such a person may be participating in family life, is not affected by the result of his actions. All right, so the instruction is that live in family life, but engage in devotional activities. So that was the instruction of the Lord. So he gave, so the Vishnu appeared and gave them, awarded the benediction to them. All right, they wanted to have a wife. So Vishnu came and said, here's your wife and here's your child also. All right. And from him will come so many grandchildren. But you be in family life, but you must offer the result of your work to Vishnu. All right. This is the instructions for family people. Now the Prachetas, so when family, so many thousands of years they stayed in family life. And then I said, okay, now let's get out of this. And that family life was described as a andhakupam. If we just stay there, will it go on sinking in? We have to come out. So the Prachetas, they left home, and now they went to one, I forgot where they went. Some sacred place where a great sage, what's that? Jajali. Text 2, okay.
He was reciting Jajali.
Yeah, he went to a nice place, Jajali, yes. With a great sage Jajali. They went to the seashore. Again, they went back to the seashore. So it looks like seashore is very attractive. So they sat there and they were practicing the yoga asanas and pranayam in order to control the mind. And then in that situation, Narad Muni appeared. And when Narad Muni appeared, then they said, oh, we almost forgot the instructions we received from Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. Thank you, Smita. We were tolerating. I'm almost going to lose my voice. We almost forgot the so why they forgot the instructions of Vishnu? And see, they perform austerity for 10,000 years, right? They are from the upper planetary systems. they have very long lifetime, and they spend quite a number of years practicing austerity, controlling their mind and senses. So actually, so many Hindus say this, in my childhood, I did this, but then, family life, everything was gone, right? So many say this. Same thing the Prachetas are saying. Family life took up their entire attention. He said that we have almost forgotten the instructions we received from Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Narada, now tell us again. Right? So difficult to come out from this material world. But because they got a very good training in youth, so then they came back. They say, no, I need satsanga, exclusive satsanga, not that I have to manage, the universe. I don't have to produce children. Because the Prachetas, that was one of their work, right? To produce children and fill up the world and maintain them also, right? Not just produce and leave them, no. That the Apsaras do. Right? From Lochan, right? She begat a child, a girl, and she just left. No, here, Daksha say, you produce the children and you maintain them. Then Pracheta say, enough of that work, enough now, going. Where we are going, we want to go back to Godhead, because that was the promise of Lord Vishnu. All right? Text 7. Tanna pradyuttaya dhyatma jnanam tatvartha darshanam yenanjasa tarishyamo dustaram bhavasagaram. Dear Master, kindly enlighten us in transcendental knowledge, which may act as a torchlight by which we may cross the dark nescience of material existence. Oh God, what is this? Oh, okay, fine. Okay, read now. Loudly.
Hare Krishna. The Prachetas requested Narad to enlighten them in transcendental knowledge. Dear Master, kindly enlighten us in transcendental knowledge, which may act as a torchlight by which we may cross the dark nescience of material existence. Purport. The Prachetas requested Narad to enlighten them in transcendental knowledge. Generally, when a common man meets a saintly person, he wishes to get some material benediction. However, the Prachetas were not interested in material benefit, for they had enjoyed all this sufficiently. Nor did they want the fulfillment of their material desires. They were simply interested in crossing the ocean of nescience. Everyone should be interested in getting out of these material clutches. Everyone should approach a saintly person in order to be enlightened in this connection. One should not bother a saintly person to get blessings for material enjoyment. Generally, householders receive saintly persons to get their blessings, but their real aim is to become happy in the material world. Asking such material benedictions is not recommended in the Shastras.
So this, very well in India, as soon as you see a sadhu, right? You want to serve a sadhu, bring a sadhu to your home, what for? To bless your house, right? For material prosperity, right? So here, The Prachetas is setting the example, but no. Dear Master, kindly enlighten us in transcendental knowledge, which may act as a torchlight by which we may cross the dark nescience of material existence. So, due to their training, they know that material life is miserable, and however many good benediction you may receive, it's not going to last. Right? The next cantos will tell us about stories about householders, who wanted material benediction. They got the material benediction, but they got the suffering also. Right? Very systematically. So here Prabhupada is saying, do not receive a sadhu in your house for your material progress. One should not bother a saintly person to get blessings for material enjoyment. Text 8. Maitreya uvacha iti prachetas samprishto bhagavan narado munihi bhagavatyatama shloka avistat pravin. Dear Vidura, being thus petitioned by the Prachetas, the supreme devotee Narada, who is always absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Person Godhead, began to reply. Can you just close this door? In this verse, Bhagavan Narada indicates that Narada is always absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Person Godhead. Bhagavati Uttama Shloka Avistatma. Narada has no other business than thinking of Krishna, talking of Krishna and preaching about Krishna. Therefore, he is sometimes called Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one who possesses all opulences. When a person possesses Bhagavan within his heart, he is also sometimes called Bhagavan. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, Sakshadharitvena samasta shastra. In every shastra, the spiritual master is accepted directly as the Supreme Personality Godhead. This doesn't mean that the spiritual master or a saintly person like Narada has actually become the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he is accepted in this way because he possesses the Supreme Person Godhead within his heart constantly. As described here, Avishtatma. When one is simply absorbed in the thought of Krishna, one is also called Bhagavan. Bhagavan possesses all opulence. If one possesses Bhagavan within his heart always, does he not automatically possess all opulence also? In that sense, a great devotee like Narada can be called Bhagavan. However, we cannot tolerate when a rascal or impostor is called Bhagavan. One must possess either all opulences or the Supreme Person of Godhead Bhagavan, who possesses all opulences. It's clear? Alright. Text 9. Narada uvacha tajjanma tani karmani tadayushtan manovachah nrinam yena hi vishvatma sevyate haririshwarah. Yes, you can read.
Translation. The great sage Narad said, when a living entity is born to engage in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Controller, his birth, all his fruitive activities, his lifespan, his mind, and his words are all factually perfect. Purport. In this verse, the word Naram, Nirinam is very important. There are many other births besides human birth, but Narad Muni is herein especially speaking of human birth. Among the human beings, there are different types of men. Of these, those who are advanced in spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness are called Aryans. Among Aryans, one who engages in the devotional service of the Lord is most successful in life. The word Niram indicates that lower animals are not expected to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. But in perfect human society, everyone should engage in the devotional service of the Lord. It does not matter whether one is born poor or rich, black or white. There may be so many material distinctions for which one who takes birth in human society, but everyone should engage in the Lord's devotional service. At the present moment, civilized nations have given up God consciousness for economic development. They are actually no longer interested in advancing in God consciousness. Formerly, their forefathers were engaged in executing religious principles. Whether one is Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Jewish, or whatever, everyone has some religious institution. Real religion, however, means becoming God conscious. It is particularly mentioned herein that birth is successful if an interest in Krishna consciousness is taken. Activity is successful if it results in serving the Lord. Philosophical speculation or mental speculation is successful when engaged in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The senses are worth possessing when engaged in the service of the Lord. Actually, devotional service means engaging the senses in the service of the Lord. At the present moment, our senses are not purified. Therefore, our senses are engaged in the service of the society, friendship, love, politics, sociology, and so on. However, when the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, one attains bhakti or devotional service. In the next verse, these matters will be more clearly explained. When one great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the Lord, he said that all his desires were fulfilled. He said, "Today everything is auspicious. Today my birthplace and neighborhood are completely glorified. Today my senses from my eyes down to my toes are fortunate. Today my life is successful because I have been able to see the lotus feet that are worshipped by the goddess of fortune.
Yes, so now, see, this is setting the scene for the instructions that Narad Muni is going to speak, and he's obviously going to speak about bhakti, the science of bhakti yoga, and this is all about actually from Nectar, devotion, this book Nectar of Devotion. The principles are given in Nectar of Devotion, and here in the purports just going to be passages and passages elaborating on points from Nectar of Devotion. So, the first instruction of Narad Muni is saying you are a human being. Alright? Alright, you're an animal, you're a human being. Doesn't matter where you have taken birth, there has to be some system of religion. whether it is Hindu, Muslim, Jewish, whatever, you are a human being, there has to be some discipline in your life. And this discipline happens when you follow some regulative principles of religion. Religion put the banks for us. Otherwise, free. You're just free. Live like animals. That's his first point here. And then Prabhupada is lamenting the fact that right now we have given up spiritual advancement for what? Economic development. Everybody think that, like I just mentioned about those classes, right? What was I talking about? What I said? I've forgotten what context, but everybody's concerned that I should earn, right? I should earn. And so this person was saying that why do they go out to the West, to America? Because they will earn a lot there. That's the main allurement. And why they're afraid to come back to India? Because they will earn less. So an obstacle why, the Indian immigrants don't want to come back to India is because earning less. And then second was a different standard of living. So here Prabhupada is saying, if you want to make money, you go to the West. Nobody migrates to come to India, right? Have you seen people migrating to come to India to make money? Why do people come to India?
For peace.
For spiritual advancement, right? So we find many devotees. That's why, India gets so crowded. Kartik time, different festival time. Now I think Purushottam month is coming, right? India will get crowded with visitors, pilgrims from all over the world because of spiritual progress. But for economic development, we go out. All right? So here Prabhupada is lamenting this. At the present moment, civilized nations have given up God consciousness for economic development. They are actually no longer interested in advancing in God consciousness. So Prabhupada says, formerly their forefathers were engaged in executing religious principles. Doesn't matter which institution, Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Jewish, or whatever. All right. So if you are a human being, there has to be religious principles. This is the first instruction of Narad Muni. Now let us read text 10, which is very, very, very important. Even though I've heard this many times, but it's about those three types of birth. Kim janma bishtribhirveha shokra savitra yagyikir karma bhirvatrahi prokter pumsopi vibudhayusha. Now, in the previous verse, the word nrinam was used, meaning a human being. And if you are a human being, so those who are most advanced, who are advanced in spiritual consciousness, they are known as, how we call them? Those who are advanced in spiritual consciousness. How are they called? Read in text 5:9, the purport. How are they called? What are they called?
Supreme Personality.
No. Those who are advanced in spiritual consciousness. How do we call them? The Aryans, yes. An Aryan is a civilized human being. Remember we discussed a few classes ago? We gave the lists, right? The list of qualification of an Aryan. Anybody remembers what Aryans do?
This means they're Indians, no, Mataji. Aryans are Indians.
Well, today we are calling them Indian, but actually, see, we have to remember one thing. This Vedic knowledge was spread the entire world. All right? Bharatvarsh is actually the entire planet. It's not referring only to the small peninsula. It was spread, the Vedic civilization was the entire world. Gradually, things like deteriorated and they started to, they lost the God consciousness. So it started to reduce. Who are those practicing? Then gradually it reduced to what we call today India, that we call Bharat. But even there, inside that peninsula also we can see now how people are giving up the Vedic civilization, right? So they are becoming what? Malechas, Yavanas, Malechas, right? And that's what's going to be discussed here. So, a civilized human being has three kinds of birth. So if you're an Aryan, all right, if you're a civilized person, where is it? Pumsam, a civilized human being has three kinds of birth. So we're going to study this, three kinds of birth. The first birth is by a pure father and mother, and this birth is called birth by semen. All right. The next birth takes place when one is initiated by the spiritual master, and this birth is called Savitra. The third birth, called Yajika, takes place when one is given the opportunity to worship Lord Vishnu. Despite the opportunities for attending such birth, even if one gets the lifespan of a demigod, if one doesn't actually engage in the service of the Lord, everything is useless. Similarly, one's activities may be mundane or spiritual, but they are useless if they are not meant for satisfying the Lord. So now let's analyze first those three types of birth. Okay? If we are civilized human being. Purport. The word Shukra Janma means taking birth by seminal discharge. Animals can take their birth in this way too. However, a human being can be reformed from the Shukra Janma as recommended in the Vedic civilization. Before the birth takes place or before father and mother unite, there is a ceremony called Garbhadhan Samskar which must be adopted. This Garbhadhan Samskar is specially recommended for higher castes, especially the Brahman caste. It is said in the Shastra that if the Garbhadhan Samskar is not practiced among the higher caste, the entire family becomes Shudra. Alright? It doesn't matter in which caste you're born. Caste? Yeah, caste. Doesn't matter in which caste you're born. If you haven't done the Garbhadhan Samskar, automatically you belong to which caste? Shudra. Alright. It is also stated that in this age of Kali, everyone is Shudra due to the absence of the Garbhadhan Samskar. Alright. This is the Vedic system. See, Garbha means the womb. Alright. Meaning that when the child will be impregnated into the womb of the mother, there is a samskar that is to be performed. There are 16 samskar in the Vedic system. So before, like Viva Samskar, actually everything starts with Viva Samskar. If there is no Viva Samskar, automatically there is no Garbhadhan Samskar. Right? So everything is starting from this. So the day Viva Samskar is over, it means the entire world is less than Shudras. Right? So Vedic system is that when this Garbhadhan Samskar is done, automatically, if you're a Brahmana, a Brahman child will be born. If you're Kshatriya, automatically a Kshatriya child will be born. If you're a Vaishya, automatically a Vaishya child will be born. Today we call it the gene. It's in your genes, right? Right? It's in the genes. So, because, yeah, that's the famous modern terms.
Mataji, one question, silly though. Nowadays everybody is having love marriage, no? Brahmana, Kshatriya, this, that. After that, what child will be born?
Okay, so here, yeah, you mean mixed caste.
Mixed, no? Everything is
Mixed caste. Yeah, so now this question is being answered. So, first thing that, well, love marriage is okay. What do you call that? Gandharva, right? This is called Gandharva marriage. It's one of the methods. It's okay, but there must be samskar. There must be samskar. Okay. So according to the Pancharatrika system, however, I have just described to you the Vedic system. How if you follow this, automatically own caste, own child will be born. But according to what you said, it's all mixed caste. So what to do? Because this is Kali Yuga anyway, mixed caste. According to the Pancharatrika system, however, even though everyone is a Shudra due to the absence of the Garbhadhan samskar, if a person has but a little tendency to become Krishna conscious, he should be given the chance to elevate himself to the transcendental platform of devotional service. Now, I'm going to explain something which you should not forget and not get confused about. There is Varnashram Dharma and there is what? Again and again we are discussing this. There is Varnashram Dharma and there is what?
Ashramas.
No. There are two systems of dharma. One is Varnashram Dharma and one is what? The system of Bhakti Yoga. Alright? Again and again we are going through this. Alright? We had a long discussion about this last week. Right? What Prabhupada is referring to now is not describing the Varnashram Dharma, because this is gone. This is gone. Right? Completely gone. Prabhupada now, which Narad Muni is preaching, he's speaking about the science of Bhakti Yoga, and this is what Prabhupada gave us. He gave us the science of Bhakti Yoga. He didn't give us Varnashram Dharma. Because you can't set it up again. Because it's a highly complex society. A super highly complex society which you cannot reconstruct in Kali Yuga. But we have to understand the aim of Varnashram Dharma. What is the aim of Varnashram Dharma?
To reach consciousness, higher level of consciousness.
Yes. To graduate from one level to the next, and we gave the example of who? Daksha. Daksha was born, previous birth?
As a Prajapati.
Yeah. Which caste?
Brahmana.
Brahmana. He took birth now as Kshatriya. Alright? So he became degraded in his consciousness. So therefore he had to take a lower birth in Varnashram Dharma. Alright? Similarly, from Kshatriya, which example we gave? From Kshatriya, someone was born Brahmana. Which example we gave?
Yeah, Jadabharat.
Jadbharat, yes. Maharaj Bharat was born king, emperor, right? He got elevated to Jadbharat Brahmana. Alright. And what was the purpose of it all? This elevation of in Varnashram Dharma, for what? I just said it. For?
Reaching the higher level of consciousness.
Yes, to reach the higher and higher and higher and highest level of consciousness, which is what? Krishna consciousness. So from now on, Prabhupada is going to discuss, Narad Muni is giving the process. He's speaking of the Krishna consciousness. Alright, so let's listen to this very carefully. So how? Because this system of Pancharatrika Vidhi is not going to re-establish one, in this, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, everybody is, but it's not the aim. The aim is to make you become Krishna conscious. Alright? So it's another system that is put forward. So, because then you will understand what's going on in ISKCON. Alright? It's very, very complex, extremely complex. The society is very complex, but you need to understand the purpose behind it. Then you are able to appreciate that Bhakti Yoga is sufficient. Alright? Okay, noted. I hope pen and pencil and note, everything is there. Because again and again we are going to the same point. Okay, so remember Pancharatrika system. So what does Prabhupada say? Everyone is born Shudra. Okay? Finished. Varnashram is gone. Only Shudras left. But if a person has a little tendency to become Krishna conscious, he should be given the chance to elevate himself to the transcendental platform of what? Devotional service. Okay? Didn't say to place himself in the Varnashram Dharma. Okay? No. He said the platform of devotional service. Now Prabhupada explained the science, the method of ISKCON. Our Krishna consciousness movement adopts this Pancharatrika Vidhi as advised by Srila Sanatana Goswami, who says, okay, together, Yatha kanchana tam yati kamsham rasa vidhanataha tatha diksha vidhanena dvijatvam jayate nrinam. As bell metal, when mixed with mercury, is transformed to gold, a person, even though not golden pure, can be transformed into a Brahmana or Dvija simply by the initiation process. So the point is that there has to be initiation. Alright? Why there should be initiation?
This is as bell metal when mixed with mercury is transformed to gold.
It can be transformed into a Brahmana.
Pure, golden pure. In the same way, you transform into a higher consciousness.
Yes. So this soul, who due to bad association and who due to not having this Garbhadhan samskar, was born through what it says, Shukra what? Janma, right?
Yeah.
Shukra Janma, right? Just born by sexual interaction, that's all. You're born out of lust, not out of a system of purification. Okay, good, fine. But if that soul who is born, he shows even a little tendency towards developing Krishna consciousness, he should be given the chance. You understand the mercy of the Lord? Alright? Not that, okay, anyway, everybody's Kali Yuga, everybody's Shudra, let them go to hell. Prabhupada didn't think like that. Alright? No. The great acharyas are always working for the good, for the welfare of others. Therefore, they say, no, even though they're manda, sumanda, matayo, right? Lazy in intelligence, lazy in practicing Krishna consciousness, and alpa medasa, not very intelligent. It's okay, give them Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Alright? Chant the holy name and practice this Pancharitra through the system of Pancharatrika Vidhi. So, that person can become a Dvija, a Brahmana, a Dvija. Alright? Just like bell metal, which is a lower metal, Shudra, can become pure gold, alright, Brahmana, through a catalyst, that is the action of mercury. Alright, nobody knows how mercury transforms bell metal into gold, right? Alchemistry, there was something called alchemistry, right? They were trying to, alchemy, okay? So anyway, so this is from Hari Bhakti Vilas. Thus, if one is initiated by a proper person, what is the first condition for this system to happen? Proper person, okay? Not just anybody who say, I'm Guru, I will give you Diksha, and you're going to get elevated. No. First thing, the Guru has to be proper. Yes, if one is initiated by a proper person, he can be accepted as twice born immediately. He's taken his second birth. Now Prabhupada will explain the system that is adopted in his Krishna consciousness movement. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we therefore offer the student his first initiation and allow him to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay? So take Diksha, alright? So you get the first initiation. Harinam Diksha we call it. Get the Mahamantra. By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly, not that I say, okay, you've taken Diksha, how many rounds you are chanting? Mataji, there's break sometimes. Alright? We've taken Diksha, right? I'm busy working. They break. Do you replace? Yes, I replace. Alright? Here Prabhupada is saying, regularly chanting Hare Krishna. Where are we? Yeah, by chanting okay. Yeah. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we therefore offer the student his first initiation and allow him to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly and following the regulative principles. I just heard Prabhupada saying that for some people, to eat meat is difficult. To give up eating meat is difficult. For some people, to give up intoxication is difficult. For some people, to give up illicit sex is difficult. For some people, to give up gambling is difficult. But it's only habits that you have cultivated. Now you have to learn to give it up. They are only habits. Right? Your tea, coffee, I don't know who's still taking tea, coffee. It's only bad habits and it can be changed. Correct. Alright? So that's why Prabhupada is saying chant Hare Krishna and follow the regulative principles. So they develop the good habit of practicing the 4 regulative principles. And what happens? One becomes qualified to be initiated as a Brahmana. Because unless one is a qualified Brahmana, he cannot be allowed to worship Lord Vishnu. So this is the third initiation, third birth. This is called Yagika Janma. In our Krishna Consciousness Society, unless one is twice initiated, first by chanting Hare Krishna and second by the Gayatri Mantra, he is not allowed to enter the kitchen or deity room to execute duties. Alright? However, when one is elevated to the platform on which he can worship the deity, his previous birth does not matter. Okay? So now let's discuss this point about, see, I'm just taking time here because this question always come again and again. So first initiation, Harinam Diksha. Second initiation, Brahman Diksha, which we call Yagika Janma. And what is its purpose? What is its purpose?
We can, in the kitchen, Gayatri Mantra, we get the Gayatri Mantra and we can do some seva in the kitchen.
Which
Radha
kitchen?
Rani's kitchen.
Yes. Not any kitchen, right? Right, this yagya, remember, your kitchen is, the deity kitchen is where yagya is being performed. All right, remember. That kitchen, Radha Ras Bihari's kitchen is where yagya is being performed, right? So you have to be Brahmana to enter that yagik shala. All right. Worship of, what the verse says? Worship of, check. We have been doing ABC now.
Worship of Lord Vishnu.
Yes, worship of Lord Vishnu, all right? Reading the verse again. The third birth called Yagika takes place when one is given the opportunity to worship Lord Vishnu. Okay. Now, Prabhupada is saying one thing, that previously maybe he was Shudra or less, but that person has shown tendency to become Krishna conscious. And therefore, through which system is he allowed to become Brahmana? Is elevated to position of Brahmana? Through which system? Pancharatrika Vidhi. Alright? And when he has taken Diksha, he is now situated in as a Brahmana. What Prabhupada says next? What does Prabhupada say? Yes. Then? Sorry? Yes. His previous birth does not matter anymore. Alright? Srila Rupa Goswami will speak about this in Nectar of Instruction. So you cannot find fault with a devotee who has already come to that platform of Brahmana through Pancharatrika Vidhi, who is chanting Hare Krishna and who is chanting Gayatri Mantra, who is following four regulative principles. Alright? You cannot say, oh, previously he was just a Malech, or previously he was just a Chandal, or previously he was just a driver. You cannot say this because he has elevated himself. Alright? Now just to give a little more purport on this. So now we find, among devotees, I'm saying this because maybe some of us are guiding devotees. Now I find, like just 2-3 weeks back, one devotee came and told me, I met her outside Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He was here, so many devotees were there. So she was also sitting there. She told, I have come for my Brahman Diksha. And I said, oh, Maharaj, give me Brahman Diksha. Okay. So I didn't go further. And then later that night, I met her. So she said that she has given her application. Maharaj has taken it. I said, oh, you got, innocent. I said, so you got your Brahman Diksha. Oh, well, I have given my letter of application. And I'm looking, letter of application. Now, I have never heard about, she was first initiate, okay? I've never heard of that you apply for second initiation. I've never heard this. But anyway, I just went along with it. So she said that Maharaj took it, and he said, not now. I have to wait. And then she told me that tomorrow Maharaj is going to give Diksha to some devotees, so this, I will come and I will insist. All right? I will come and I will insist that Maharaj should give me my Brahman Diksha. This hankering has come in me, Mataji. I must chant the Gayatri mantra. I want to do this. This hankering has come, you know. And I'm looking, oh my God, now, you know, I don't know what to say, right? Because she's not somebody whom I know closely. All right? I don't know what to say. But just to save me, one devotee came down. That was just outside the lobby, you know, guest house lobby. So one devotee just came down, and he happened to be one of the main, assistant for Maharaj. So he came, and he's a very jolly person, very kind, very soft, like Smita, you know, all jolly. So he came down, you know, very merciful. So he came down, and then I don't know how the whole thing, you know, came out. That Maharaj has said that you wait for 6 months now. This girl didn't tell me all this, okay? And then, so this girl was still insisting. Then this Prabhuji, who's very like gentle, he became more stern. They say, Maharaj has said, you wait. You have to wait. And then it was such a scene, you know. It was late in the night because there was some festival going on. Somebody was passing by. Another devotee of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Mataji, come. When did you get your second Diksha? And this devotee, I'm seeing her from I don't know how many years, always doing jewelry for Radha Ras Bihari. You know? Mataji, 7 years I waited, then I got second Diksha. All right? So this girl asked, how many years you been initiated? 2 years. You know? And even then she was not convinced, but still like things were starting to sink in. Then I lost my cool. Okay? See, I don't know her very closely, but I lost my cool. I told her one thing, you know, you want Brahman Diksha. I've just had an experience with one girl who joined our office so many years back. Within few months, she got first initiation. And before I know, she came and got second initiation. She came and asked me service in our office. All right? No, I say, now I'm very confident. Very confident. I've got somebody who's first initiated, second initiated. Pakka, I relaxed. I say a Brahmana. Brahmana means what is the qualification of Brahmana? Qualification of Brahmana? Pick up your Bhagavad Gita. Qualification of Brahmana? Yes. Shamo, Damas, Tapaha, Socham, right? For me, only the first two mattered. What is it? Shamo, Damas. Mind and sense control. All right? Mind and sense control. This girl, she just dropped the service right in the middle of the book marathon. I say, you want me for Brahman Diksha? This is the standard. All right? So before you come and say, give me Brahman Diksha, I'm going to barge in and say, Maharaj, you must give me my Brahman Diksha. You have to develop the qualities of Brahmana. Shama, Damas, Tapaha, Socham, etc., etc. Arjavam, Titikshava, right? Tolerant. Not that somebody just says one thing and you drop Prabhupada's service. At the drop of a hat, somebody said something to me and I just drop it. I don't care whether I'm in the middle of a major preaching movement. I'm doing service for Srila Prabhupada. I don't care. You don't know where you are. All right. So here Prabhupada is saying, so this is very important, very, very important. That it's not a small thing. It's not just change of name, It's not just a change of status. Twice initiated. What I'm saying, double initiation. They don't even speak of twice initiation now. They speak of double initiation. New language is popping up in the Hare Krishna movement, India. Double initiated, Status. So here, however, when one is elevated to the platform on which he can worship the deity, his previous birth doesn't matter. But what's happening now? We are remembering the previous birth. Why? Why? Like I described this incident because I'm remembering the previous birth. Why? Because the qualification is not being exhibited. And in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada will speak of this. He gives warning. He gives warning. He said, now you are being given Diksha. You are Goswami, whatever Swami you are. Alright? But do not again become a Godas. Of course, this devotee was very innocent. She had no idea, actually. She was not trained. She's just enthusiastic, sincere, but no training. She actually had no idea what she was doing. But when told, then she understood. All right? When told, then she understood. But nobody was telling her. If everybody, I'm speaking of leaders, guys, if everybody will just be, it's good, everything is fine, we don't correct, then you do this type of stuff, right? But when I called her, asked her, what was the problem? She explained and I said, she felt very bad. She understood, all right? Meaning, Brahmana has intelligence. You can understand. All right. So these are the points about, however, when one is elevated to the platform on which he can worship the deity, his previous birth doesn't matter. All right. Now, there's going to be a lot of discussion on this point. Let's read together. Chandalopi dvija shreshto hari bhakti parayanaha Hari bhakti vihinascha dvijopi swapachadhamaha. Even if one is born in the family of a Chandal, if one engages in the devotional service of the Lord, he becomes the best of Brahmanas. But even a Brahmana who is devoid of devotional service is on the level of the lowest. But even a Brahmana who is devoid of devotional service is on the level of the lowest dog eater. If a person is advanced in devotional service, it doesn't matter whether he was born in a Chandal family. He becomes purified. As Sri Prahlad Maharaj said, Vipradishad guna yatat aravinda nabha Padaravinda vimukhasvapacham varishtham. Even if one is a Brahmana and is qualified with all the Brahminical qualifications, he is considered degraded if he is averse to worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if a person is attached to the service of the Lord, he becomes glorified even if he is born in a Chandal family. Indeed, such a Chandal can deliver not only himself, but all his family predecessors. Meaning, this is the power of devotional service. So, maybe low born in the beginning, but through the process of Pancharatrika Vidhi, the person becomes so elevated. I think last week we spoke about Pindadan and all this, Right? So here when you become a devotee, you are already engaged in so many devotional activities that you can deliver your family predecessors. Without devotional service, even a proud Brahmana cannot deliver himself, and what to speak of his family. In many instances in the Shastras, it is seen that even a Brahmana has become a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Malishya, or non-Brahmana. We already gave the example. And there are many instances of ones being born a Kshatriya or Vaishya and even lower. And in the 18th year, attaining elevation to the Brahminical platform by the process of initiation, meaning at the age of 18. 18th, right? 18. All right? So, they take Pancharatrika Vidhi initiation and he becomes elevated. Therefore, Narad Muni says, Yasya yal lakshanam proktam pumso varnabhivyanjakam yad avanyatrapi drishyeta tattenaiva vinirdishet. It is not a fact that because one is born in a Brahmana family, he is automatically a Brahmana. He has a better chance to become a Brahmana. But unless he meets all the Brahminical qualification, he cannot be accepted as such. On the other hand, if the Brahminical qualifications are found in the person of a Shudra, he should immediately be accepted as a Brahmana. To substantiate this, there are many quotations from Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Bharadwaj Samhita, and the Pancharatra, as well as many other scriptures. All right. So this is about this point of birth. So one more warning that, again I heard my Guru Maharaj when he was giving Diksha, Brahman Diksha. So he said that we are giving Brahman Diksha and we criticize those who are wearing this Janev, right? We say your 2 paisa thread. Be sure that you again do not become a 2 paisa thread Brahmana. Alright? So by the process of Pancharatrika Vidhi, taking the name of Prabhupada, right? What risk Prabhupada is taking, isn't it? He's propagating a system by which people can come forward, can take Diksha and take, say, Brahman, get the Janev, and then you go out, and again you become fallen, still you're going to wear your Janev, still you will say, I'm Brahmana. Alright? You don't follow the principles of Brahmana. What are the principles of Brahmana? What are the principles of Brahmana?
When we see Brahmana here, Mataji, is it that, we are born in a family of priests, kind of Brahmins, that is a Brahmana, are we talking about?
I'm speaking by Pancharatrika Vidhi, which elevate one to the level of Brahmana. Alright? So we have described the qualification of Brahmana. Shamo, Damas, Tapaha, Socham, Arjavam, etc., etc., right? Gyan, Vidyanam, Ashtikyam, right? So what are the occupations of a Brahmana? Teaching, yes. First, before he teaches,
Learn of the Vedas.
study. Alright? Time must be given to studying. And then teaching, preaching. Yes? Yeah, then there is another category. They are doing yagya. Not only are they doing yagya, but they are
Chanting mantra.
Brahmana, he's doing yagya and he's doing what?
Tapasya.
He's teaching. Alright? Otherwise he becomes Kripana. If you only do the yagya, alright, the deity seva, whatever, and you don't teach, you become Kripana. A Brahmana is someone who's always teaching. Whatever he knows, he's teaching. Even Dronacharya did that, right? was a Brahmana, right? He knew the military art and he was teaching, and he taught even to his, to whom? To whom?
No,
Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna, knowing that this boy will kill him. This is a Brahmana. Alright? Speaking of occupation of a Brahmana, meaning whatever you know, you must teach. And then, what else about Brahmanas?
They have to learn the mantras also.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Not hoard more than what is required.
Yes, Brahmanas, they accept charity, all right, and they, whatever, they give back, all right. These are the qualities of a Brahmana. In other words, in simple terms, be satisfied with what comes, all right. So in our context, so some devotees are able to do only this as their means of livelihood, and others who have to do other things, but they are satisfied with what comes easily. They do not over endeavor, like Prabhupada described in the previous verse, over endeavor for economic development. Because by destiny, all right, by destiny, whatever you're meant to have is, yes, you will get. The Brahmana is convinced of this, that destiny is fixed. It will come automatically. But what is not fixed? Destiny is fixed. Whatever artha, kam, that will happen automatically. What is not fixed? Yes. Your, yeah, you have to endeavor for that. All right? You have to put in effort for liberation from this cycle of birth and death. This is not fixed. Right? You have to work for it. So now the last section here. As for the duration of life of the demigods, concerning Lord Brahma, it is said, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyad Brahmano Viduhu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Tehoratra Vido Janaha. The duration of one day of Brahma is 1,000 times greater than the 4 yugas, aggregating 4,320,000 years. Similarly, Brahma's one night. Brahma lives for 100 years of such days and nights. The word Vibhuddhayusha indicates that even if one gets a long lifespan, his lifespan is useless if he is not a devotee. A living entity is the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord, and unless he comes to the platform of devotional service, his lifespan, good birth, glorious activities, and everything else are null and void. So meaning that I may be a Brahmana, but if there is no devotional service, even if I'm living for the lifetime of a demigod, my life is simply useless. Useless. Alright, so being Brahmana is not sufficient. His lifespan is useless if he's not a devotee. Such a nice purport. Right? So you're getting this clear about Varnashram Dharma, and then Bhakti Yoga, the path of Varnashram. What's the aim of Varnashram Dharma? Revision we are doing now.
To get into bhakti.
Yes.
Consciousness, higher consciousness.
Yes. To reach bhakti, to develop our Krishna consciousness. So in Kali Yuga, where Varnashram system is completely finished, collapsed, what do? Go to hell? Who has given all this? Narad Muni, yes. Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam has saving grace for all of us who are doomed in this Kali Yuga. Through which system? Through which system? Elevation is happening through which system? No! Pancharatrika Vidhi. You understanding what Prabhupada has given us? Yeah, what is this Diksha? Pancharatrika Vidhi, meaning that we are already low born. Alright? But when you preach to somebody, he's interested, she's interested. Right? Man, woman, Indian, Chinese, Japanese, American, Italian, Mauritian are Indians mostly, right? Whoever it may be, you are interested in Krishna consciousness, take the chanting beads, following the 4 principles, do the samskar through Pancharatrika Vidhi. Alright? But there is a condition. Well, when we follow this, then previous birth is not to be considered, remembered, but when we do something that is not proper, then previous birth is remembered. Not deliberately, but it means, oh, where does he come from, right? But it doesn't mean that, see, we are going to read more. Doesn't mean that we just, even if there is a step down, it doesn't mean that we can't step up again, right? This is the mercy of Supreme Lord. Actually, we're going to read more about all this. So please be there next week. This is a discussion from Nectar of Devotion. The whole science of Bhakti Yoga is being explained now in this section. Again and again we are going through the same thing. I don't know. I'm reading it first time. But there are many scriptures. All right. Okay, so now you're making head and tail of what's going on in the Krishna consciousness movement. Right? Why all this Diksha ceremony everywhere? Diksha ceremony, understood? Those who are going to be initiated and those who are already initiated. Understanding? Right?
How do we know which guru we should take Diksha from?
Well, you have to pray to Srila Prabhupada.
Earlier, as you said, Brahman qualities and the devotional service. So, generally, we see all Brahmins doing all devotional activities in the altar, temple. So, you said the real Brahman is who is going to learn and then teach and then preach. So, it comes all, even the Shastras, the Yajnas, and even the devotional service, what he's performing in the temple.
See, in ISKCON, everybody is reading Shastra, right? It's part the way Prabhupada set it up, right? The way it's set up is that every day there is Bhagavatam class, right? See, Prabhupada has made a complete organization. So that's why the Mangalati morning, you're doing the puja, you're reciting kirtan, right? You're not just standing there like this, right? No, you're chanting, you're reciting prayers. Then we have the Bhagavad class. So automatically they are hearing. And then you see book marathon comes at the Pujari stall. Everybody is distributing books, right? And in Radha Ras Bihari temple, the biggest book distributors are from the Pujari department, right? So automatically, Prabhupada has made in such a way that automatically Brahman means you should have knowledge and you should distribute knowledge. And if you don't make that effort, how will you survive? As I just explained, now this devotee, she got Brahman Diksha, but nobody actually explained so many things to her. And just that few minutes I explained, she understood. Right? So we have to take trouble. We have to study, we should approach, proper devotees who will explain. So all this is very, very important, and Prabhupada will read in Prabhupada Lilamrita. So when he set up the temple, he called the temple of understanding. All right? He didn't just set up temples when you come and you worship and you go home and stay as you are. Right? You come with full of material desires, we just read. Give me blessing, give me blessings. Right? We come in, you ask the sadhus, come home, what for? To give me blessings. Prabhupada didn't make temples where you just come and ask for blessings. No. He put book distribution, preachers. Okay? So, very, very important. You understand? So, I see that usually everybody is a preacher. They must have knowledge. To whatever extent they are able to. See, as we are going to read next, here we are not looking for highly intellectual people. No. But we should know the goal of the Shastra. If the goal of the Shastra is to be humble servant of Krishna, it's achieved. The acharyas, they are scholars. But we need not be scholars because we are followers. We are followers of the acharyas. If we are following the wrong person, we'll go in the ditch. Right? So we are following Srila Prabhupada.
He is the Acharya.
He is our Acharya. And Srila Prabhupada, he's following in the footsteps of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he learned from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Alright? And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he learned through the teachings of the 6 Goswamis. Alright, that was 500 years ago. And the 6 Goswamis, all this, whatever Prabhupada is writing, is not his writing. I'm going back. And the 6 Goswamis, who the acharyas for us, they learn from Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Alright? Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Alright? And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave, so that's why we must study this Chaitanya Charitamrita or teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So Mahaprabhu, he himself, of course, he's the Supreme Lord, and he masterminded this entire system of how to elevate the people. So he had to meet with so much opposition. Prabhupada met with so much opposition when he preached, to outside people, outside India. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he had to meet with so much opposition with the Brahmanas, the caste Brahmanas, caste Goswamis. But they fought and they won. That's why today we are peaceful. Alright? Heavy opposition. Why you are giving Brahman Diksha? Women are getting Brahman Diksha. Where's your husband? right? System is Vedic system. Husband, right? Is Brahmana, all right? Automatically, wife is connected. She's Brahmani, all right? And here, separate. The women are getting Brahman Diksha. How? Through Pancharatriki Vidhi. Not invented, not cooked up. Alright? So that's why we must study properly. This Prabhupada's purports. Is it true what we are saying? Have you read it in the book or did I speak it? You read it in the book? Okay, I'm safe. All right. Anyway, read again and tell me we spoke real or false. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.